Hello, everybody. It's great to spend time with you. I'm really starting to look forward to this conversation every day. You've got no idea. And in the night, I'm lying awake and all these thoughts are coming to me. What should I share? What should I share? But don't worry, it comes in the moment. If there's new people joining us right now, I'm going to share this every time. It's so good for the people who's heard this before to hear it again and hear it again. Because you've got to understand, as we think we are, and our thinking is a conditioning process. I'm just busy writing an article for a magazine, and they asked me, and I'm writing this. I said, it's about marriage. You've spent 25 odd years building an identity, becoming who you are. Suddenly you walk into this marriage and you married somebody who's different from you. Not one of us are the same. And so often we go into a marriage and then you have to protect your identity because we are threatened by somebody else's identity. And therefore a marriage becomes a battle to survive instead of a synergy place where each of us grow each other to become more than we would have been on our own. And that's the purpose of marriage, is to live in synergy, to really grow each other through your ceiling and not to protect yourself because we're threatened with the differences people have in terms of identity. So for those of you who joined today, it's very, very good, and it's a great principle to have a pen and a notebook. If you want to go better than a notebook, go for a diary. If you want to go worse than a notebook, grab a piece of paper. Good, better, best. Never let me rest until my good is better and my better best. Yes. If a piece of paper is good enough for you, watch out. Because better is available, yet fewer take it. I wanted to start today. No, I want to finish with my notebook. When I say something today, and you've got your notebook and pen, write down what you hear. Because every one of us hear differently. But when you write it down just for you. Don't write it down for the whole world. Don't write it down for a third person. Make it personal for you. That means you write your name and you use the word I. I can't tell you how many emails I've received from people who started reading the word, God's Bible, for those of you who believe in His word. If you don't believe, you don't read that, you read anything else. But let me tell you, even if you read a self-help book, even if you read a motivational book and you learn the skill will increase your life dramatically. Because if you can stop reading in the third person and put your name in what you read, you can take my advice. Go read a self-help book. There's many of them. I've written some of them as well. Game plan for your life. Instead of reading that you, a person, should, and you put your own name in there, the whole book have a different meaning for you. Let me tell you, God's word will become alive for you when you start putting in your name there. And I want to share this story because it's so applicable on a couple of emails that I received from people who in this time cannot afford to pay the 250 Rand for a week. And they feel guilty because of that. And I said to them, you've got to understand, there are other people who have a total different mindset. There are people, and you know who you are. But you said, Yanni, we know there are people who battle. So we pay double because we want to bless them. Now, I shouldn't have said that before my story, because I want to tell you a story that you've got to understand. This is the way we live life. Two friends stand together, and the one friend is rich and the other one is not that rich. He's okay. And the rich guy says, listen, there's this boat cruise that's coming and it's spectacular. I want us as friends to go on this boat cruise. And immediately the poor man's thoughts go, phew, where am I going to get the money? I can't save that much. I'm just barely surviving every day. And he starts to him and he wants to make excuse, but he doesn't commit. But a week later, his friend come and say, listen, I've made us bookings. We're going to go on this boat cruise. And then he said, and you've got to understand, I know that you're battling a bit, so I bought your ticket. So don't worry. I just want you to book the time. Come with me. And the poor guy, he said, no, you can't do that. And the guy said, sorry, I've already bought the tickets. So that excuse, so you can't do that. You can't bless me. Is out of the back door. And eventually, this guy knows I'm going to go on this boat cruise. But he doesn't have the money. And as they got on the boat, everybody's waving and they're enjoying it. And every day there's 3 meals. But on a boat cruise, you dress up for a meal and everybody goes into this lounge and you've got this beautiful setting. But before every meal, the poor friend finds an excuse and he just say to his partner, Pal, listen, Pal, I'll be back. I'll join you just now. I've just got to go and do something. And every time just after the meal, the poor friend comes back and the other guy said to him, so where were you? And he said, no, I was okay, but I grabbed myself something to eat at another table. Don't worry about me. And that happens every meal. So by the end of the cruise, close to the end of the cruise, this friend misses his friend every meal. And he says to him, listen, you're not going to go away today. Today you are coming with me to this meal because we've not dined together or we have not had any meal together. Yes, and the poor friend, he looks terrified and he says to his pal, listen, I've got a confession to make. I saved as much as I could for this trip, but I realized I won't be able to afford all these meals. So I bought myself some broodjies, some bread, which I put into which I hide in one of the rescue ships, the life-saving ships. And every time you go to the meal, I go up there and then I eat my little piece of bread because I realize I won't be able to afford this. And the other pal looks at him and said, what the hell? Are you an idiot? Don't you know that in the ticket that I bought for this trip, everything is included? Because of your mentality of poverty, you missed out on all the wealth, all the joy, all the luscious fruit and food that was available for you, being paid for. How many of us live our lives exactly like this? When there's something good available, we think we can't afford it because you think you're personally responsible for it. We all have seasons in life. I can recall the season in our lives where our friends invited us to a birthday party. Now, that was many years ago. But they said, me and Teresa, we both had together 100 Rand available for that evening. And we thought, how are we going to spend 100 Rand on an evening just to go and because the birthday party was at the restaurant. And we get there and we arrange everything and we simply order that we can afford that $100. And by the end of the evening, the host of the party said, listen, we're just going to split the bill. Everybody's just going to split it. And it came out to about 250 Rand per person. But we didn't drink anything. We didn't do. And the embarrassment of that evening of telling my friend that I don't have the money for this because we simply ate what we could afford. So we didn't buy drinks and we didn't indulge in those things. I can remember that like yesterday. So if you are in a season where you feel like I felt, remember what I'm telling you right now. This too shall pass. This too shall pass. And never let your mind become a poverty mindset because of this. We all have seasons in life. And if you can't afford to pay the 250 Rand right now, Maybe somebody else has already paid for you. Don't see it as a reason to quit, because so often we quit when we should have just pressed through and put your pride in your pocket and say, listen, this is my season. I take it. Thank you very much. I got that off my chest. After the session, the purpose of participation means you've got to speak. I'm speaking now for 30 minutes. You're listening, but it means little to nothing unless you share what you've heard with somebody else. Because if you share, it starts to make sense to you. Then it becomes yours. I give you not. I try to give you whatever knowledge. We call it knowledge. But knowledge is not understanding what you know. So many people know about so many great principles. I've had a conversation with a young boy this morning. I spoke to him last week as well because his father is asking me to mentor him. So we've got this appointment. And last week I said to him, so what's your day like? And I told you about that. And he said, it's havoc. I wake up at 9 o'clock and then I chase everything. And I said to him, first things first. And I said to him, let's work out a daily plan. And I wrote down, I said to him, write down there, when I open my eyes, I say, thank you, Lord. So when you open your eyes, speak. Don't sit there and try and wake up. Flip, and you can close your eyes and you can just say it like this and say, thank you, Lord, for blessing me that I can wake up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And as you say, thank you, thank you, thank you, the smile will open up your eyes. Don't worry. And then the second thing you do is you get word. First things first. This morning I had a conversation with him again, and I asked him how was his weekend. He said, havoc. And I said, can I ask before you can continue, because they're busy with school and lots of schoolwork, and he was complaining about all these things. And I said to him, excuse me, have you done the first thing? And he said to me, Yanni, I didn't have time. And I said to him, you've got to understand this. Unless you do first things first, the rest of your day will be off track. And I used the example of a train, because we all build momentum through the day. Now, in the morning, your train is standing still. Here's 2 tracks in front of you, but your train is standing wherever. Unless you fit your train's wheels on those tracks and the momentum of the train starts, where do you think your train is going to go? If it's off track, your train is gaining momentum and it's going to, I used quite a harsh word this morning, but I'm not going to say it because I know there's children. But I said to him, your train is in say, Carson. Okay, that was not a harsh word, it was okay. But I told him, your train, if it starts building momentum, it's going to go havoc. You're off track. The first thing of every day is put your wheels on track. Now, that's so easy. And I said to him, you've got no idea. I said to him, do you have a Bible in your home? He said, yes, I've got a Bible. And I said, okay, go and get it. Because I wanted him to read that verse. And he said, and eventually he came and said, yeah, it's not a Bible, it's simply one of these diary books. And I said, yes, I understand, don't worry. But in Matthew 6, verse 33, it's written, first, seek the kingdom of God. First, then all the things you worry about will be given to you in addition to that. First things first. And I'm going to give you some advice right now concerning first, because so many of us grow up with a religion, and for you to open that Bible is like opening up a scientific book with words that threatens you, and to go like, I don't know what's written here, but let me find an easy verse. And you're actually afraid of the word, because many of us has grown up with religion and fear and feeling insignificantly. We on this boat trip, but I can't afford the meal. I'm just going to eat in my That's how many of us live life. Jesus Christ died for us so that we can live, have freedom and abundance, everything. He paid the price. He paid the ticket. And I'm not going, forgive me if I give a religious talk. It's just my experience of life, because I was so far off track. I was sitting in the devil's lounge every day, watching porn, cheating on my wife, speaking filth, feeling sorry for myself. That was where I was. So today I realized that abundance is totally different. I know what poverty means. I've been there. I will know what a poverty mindset is. I have had that. And to change your mind is absolutely amazing, because wealth, health, abundance is not a physical thing. It all starts with your thinking. When your thinking becomes right, it becomes a thing. Thinking comes before things, because as you think, you are. So my thinking had to change, and the first thing I had to do was to change my mind. So I had to change my mindset in the beginning of the day. First things first. Now I'm going to give you a hint here. For those of you who feel like, I don't know what to read, and forget about it. Just get words. So how easy is that? Go on your phone. Don't read news. Don't read messages. The purpose of the phone, open YouTube. And on YouTube, you type with that little magnifying glass where you search. Type there and say, start your day with God. It will come up immediately on your screen. Then there's pictures. Press on the first one that you see and just listen. Just listen. When you sit there on the bed trying to open your eyes, you've watched it, but press it and just listen, because then you do the first thing for the day, is fill your ears with words of hope and faith. So for those of you who wonder, how do you do Bible study? I know there's a couple of families who wrote to me and said, Yanni, I want to do it. The wife wants to do it usually, but the husband and the boy, they just juggling away from all these things. Is don't make it difficult. Make it easy. Master the moment. Because we're all afraid of exercise, and I'm going to continue with the session I did yesterday. We're so afraid of exercise because we see it as difficult. We see first things as difficult. First things shouldn't be difficult. Make it easy. God is not a scientific God who's difficult. God is so easy. He's just waiting for you to jump on his lap and to open your ears, because the birds that sing outside, they sing a song for you to hear. You just got to open your ears and hear it. It's not difficult. Just hear the sound. The Spirit will take care of itself. Start trusting the Spirit. Stop doubting yourself. So I want to continue with the mindset of yesterday. That's why I gave you this hint. Make it easy. Don't start your day with difficulty. Start it with ease. Because then the rest of the day, imagine this. You just take your train, this heavy machine that's going somewhere. You moving on track. And imagine your wheels are on track and this train starts moving. And you catch a downslope. That's what happened yesterday morning. I was not in a good space. Me and my wife had a difference. I found this friend. And where Satan, and I tell you, it's the attacks of Satan that tries to bring division between my wife. We are attacked, don't worry. And he would have liked me to be off track before the session so dearly, because then the Spirit couldn't flow. So I phoned this friend and I said to him, Hannes, you just got to speak to me right now. And he didn't know what about. But we stood in synergy, and he simply put my wheels on track again. Because Satan wants us to be off track so dearly, because then the rest of the day he doesn't care about you. But if you do first things first, you're on track. And when you catch momentum, my apologies, this is technology. So I'm not apologizing. I'm just enjoying the thrill of the moment because this is life. We've got to deal with challenges. We've got to deal with whatever happens, and nothing is that serious. When you start in the morning and you're on track and somebody push you and you're on track and you get the momentum, imagine what you can do. I want to finish my thought for today going back to yesterday regarding exercise. Exercise is such an important part of our life because health truly is important for living. Steve Jobs obviously lost his health at the age of 56, I think, and just before he died because of cancer. So even though he was one of the wealthiest men ever to live, he lost one of the most important things in his life, and that's his health. Now, if you lose your health, life means little. But if you take care of your health, and I want to share this with you, I have a big lawn, and I've got this lawnmower that I treasure because it was a bargain, but it was one of the top bargains. That was not one of the weak mindset bargains. That was a top bargain. It cost me far more than I would have paid for a brand new stupid machine. But I invested, and I thoroughly enjoy mowing my lawn. But I do it twice a week right now because I find enjoyment in the looking good of my lawn, and me and my wife play golf on there. But let me tell you, if you take care of something that's valuable to you every day, taking care becomes so easy because there's so little to do. If you don't take care of something that's valuable to you today, in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, taking care of it is difficult. And the more you have a difficulty in doing something, the more we want to postpone and set it out. That's why exercise has become such a big thing in society. My wife went to Spar this morning, and she said to me, "Honey, you know what? The pharmacy is actually more busy than Spar. More people are buying medicine than people at the food store." And I said to her, "Isn't it amazing how many people spend all their money on gaining back their health after they've lost it because they didn't take care of it every day?" And it's amazing what technology can do because twice in today's session, the camera faded on us, and it's just a little challenge. But amazing, technology is so good that nobody can tell real from fake anymore. And isn't that how life has become? We can't tell real from fake anymore, except you in your own heart. Because you in your own heart know who the true self is. So I want to continue with the message that I wanted to share with you today. And that is that if we learn to do something exceptionally well, not in comparison to other people, but in comparison to your own ability. You see, nobody knows how good you can do something except you. And if you learn to challenge yourself, and that's the step-up challenge that I gave you this week, is to step up, challenge each other to become better. It's amazing what happens to your mindset, because as you think, you are. I'm going to repeat my saying where I said, and you can write my name at the bottom of this because I've not found it in any book. This is my idea, and I would like you to grant me the opportunity to share it. And that's, we are busy with so many things, yet we are successful in so few. Should we not perhaps do less things and be successful in more? What is success? Success, for those of you who've got a notebook, success is not accepting a piece of paper is good enough. But having a little notebook or having a diary it's your decision. It's not my opinion that counts. It's not my opinion that's going to give you a success mindset. Success is your personal choice every day. We all know that we are on a boat and the ticket has been paid for. The meals are available. Everything is available to us all. The luxury of life is available. And I'm going to repeat what I say right now. Success is available to us all. Excellence is available to us all, yet it's chosen by a few. Because we so often accept average as good enough because we think other people don't see it. But it's you. It's all about you. Are you sitting in a home amongst the family where you bring the best in each other to the front, where you really stand in synergy and you're aware of synergy, or are you sitting in a home where you don't know whether you are in synergy or not because you've never thought about this? You've got to understand, if you don't know what's important to you, if you don't know how important your health is to you, you will not put effort in being excellent today. But the day you lose your health, it becomes everything. You may not think your family is important to you today. You might think, oh, Mom, you can just prepare my meal. I'm not going to really be thankful. I forget because I'm so used to it. But the day you lose your mom, that's the day you're going to understand who she was for you and you will be thankful. That's why my daughter said to me, and I want to read this to you, more flowers are given to the dead. I just want to get that right. Than to the living. Because the regrets we carry are more heavy than the gratitude we carry. My daughter said that this morning when she read that letter that she wrote to me. She said, Dad, you know what? At this moment, we both sit here and we cry because I wrote you a letter telling you who you are to me today. And we both sat there and cried. And she said, you know what? I got this saying from somebody else. I got that, don't have the name. But he says, more flowers are given to the dead than to the living. Because our regrets weigh heavier than our gratitude. That means we stand at the grave of somebody and we think, I should have told him. I should have given him the flowers. Now I cry and I want to read these nice words. You've got today, you've got this weekend ahead of you to thank the people around you. Look at around you and say, Dad, you are the best dad that I can wish for. My wife, my apologies. I only saw the stuff that I don't like. But you know what? I forget to open my eyes to see what I do love about you because you are amazing. Give the flowers today and have zero regrets when the time is past. Live today and live fully because it's your choice. You understand? If you know what's important to you, it's so easy to make a decision. So many of us don't know what's important to us because we're so busy with so many things and therefore we succeed in so few. My challenge to you is rather do 5 excellent push-ups today than to think I've got to belong to a gym and I've got to do many and I'm going to be tired and you postpone it. And one day you get to a place where you've lost your health and you could have just started with 5 push-ups today. I trust you find my message. I trust you take this and now it's time to share it with those closest to you. What do you take from this? What are you going to do with this? Speak it and become accountable for the success in your own life. Have a super weekend. Chat to you next week.